Loading snacks. Oh, shucky ducky quack quack. What it do? Snackers, snackettes, snack X's. It's your boy Gage, Sin, and Joseph in the building, and you are now tuned into Cutscenes, where we get together once a week and we talk about things that are happening in video games, because cutscenes are
the best part of the game.
For now. For now, they are the best part of the game. Cuddy is happy to see the timer back. Marcus is starting talking trash already.
That's what he does.
I see that. You know what I mean? My man said he only got 3 days till freedom. So my question is, Sin.
Yeah.
What's the first thing Marcus gonna do in 3 days? How bad? How bad are you gonna get tagged? What's this gonna be like? What kind of?
I think he's gonna wait until weekly, but he's gonna build up an arsenal of things and then just unload on me on weekly when it's live. I think that's what he's gonna do. I think that's gonna be a strategy going into it. But I'm ready for him.
Let me tell you something, Marcus. I don't care what kind of beef you got with Sin. If you mess up my weekly, dog, I'm coming for you. You hear me? If you mess up my weekly, if you can't keep your hands to yourself in the chat,
you know he can't.
And I got to come back there in that back seat, bro.
I got to come back there.
Behave yourself.
So listen, I'm here's the thing. Generally speaking, right? Video games, they are our escape. We use them to get away from the everyday, all day, the COVID-19s, the stress, you know what I mean? Yeah. We use them to have a good time. We use them as just a way to be somewhere other than where we have to be when we're being where we are. But sometimes there's some very serious things happen in video games, and today is one of those days where we have to talk about something that's very serious that's happening in video games. I don't know how much you guys have been keeping tabs on this whole Activision Blizzard fallout. What I will say is this is not the first time that this has happened to a company.
No.
And it's sadly probably not going to be the last.
Nope.
Facts.
So for those of you who are unaware, the state of California is suing Activision Blizzard, and they are doing so because of allegations of sexual harassment, frat boy culture, even rape.
I didn't hear that.
It's a little out of control. And it's been going on for a number of days. It's been going on for a while. Like, we could have talked about this before.
What's up, Perp?
But literally, it seems like Perp, what it do? Every day, there is new news from every outlet that is talking about this. And here's the thing. This is the kind of thing that is beyond IGN. It's beyond GameSpot. It's beyond Eurogamer. This is even beyond Bloomberg, which does report on news now. I mean, video game stuff, especially now that, like, you know, Jason left Kotaku and is over there now, right? But, like, this is NBC, MSNBC. This is the kind of thing that is hitting major channels because, you know, video game companies are some of the most powerful companies on the planet. They make a lot of money. They have a lot of money, and they have their hands in a lot of things, you know? So much so that, like, so there was a walkout yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which was an organized walkout. But here's the thing. The walkout happened mostly because of the way the company responded
back
to the allegations. And it wasn't even that they did really a public response, but the response that they sent via email and what have you throughout the company was shared, and then it became public news. So man, here's the thing. Like I don't think I want to get super deep into what the specifics of the court case are. I don't even really want to get, I think, specifically into the way Activision Blizzard is handling it, which suffice to say is not well. Okay. Again, just to kind of give you some bullet points. So walkout was organized. They did the walkout. They've shut down their social media accounts, basically. Like they're not doing any promotion or anything like that, which is how it should be. Like you can't go talking about, oh, this great new game or this new update we have coming to this. Like supposedly they were doing like a Overwatch update and stuff like that, and all that's kind of gotten pushed off, right? They have now gone as far as to hire what is considered a union busting firm. It's the same company that Amazon hired to keep their workers from forming a union. But video games, man, the allegations of like crunch and the culture and just the stuff that happens for us to make the things that we love so much. Like these kinds of things come up constantly. So I really think I want to dwell on, because what their next move should be or what the action should be, we're not in a position to say. We weren't there. We didn't witness anything. We're not sitting in the courtroom. We're not gonna sit in the courtroom. There are things that'll probably happen that we'll never know. There'll probably be some settlements. You know what I mean? My question, I guess, to you all and to everybody who's watching is really more of how you choose to handle this kind of a thing. More often than not, when something like this is happening in any entertainment industry, what is said to the people is to vote with your wallet, right? You don't like what they're doing, you think they're bad company or whatever, don't buy their games, right? Don't play their games, don't show their games. And I actually had a conversation, it was a brief, just kind of a back and forth with Frosty the other day, because I shot her a text and she was like, she was playing Overwatch. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. We should talk about that, because we're definitely going to talk about it on Cutscenes this week. She was like, yeah, I heard about it. I probably shouldn't be playing it, but that's all my friends are playing, and that's what we want to play, right? Better to just admit wrongdoings to get ahead of the game. Man, listen, Marcus, that's too real. It's never that.
Yeah, they kind of tried to say with the statement that they put. That's kind of what they tried to do, but it was kind of a very lackluster attempt at trying to send out a message, I guess would be the way to say it.
The messages that were sent out to the company, honestly, were more like, we don't do none of this. Like, this is not the company that I work for. This is not the company. This is coming from like the top. Like, this is not the company that I was hired to be at. This is not a thing that we do. It was almost like these allegations or these things, like, they're just not true. They're unfounded. They're whatever. You know what I mean? And it was super tone deaf. You know what I mean? It was super tone deaf. Whenever it comes to stuff like this, right? And you kind of have this, like, this corporate overlord kind of a thing, right? So, like, for you two are fans of Overwatch. With something like this going on, will you continue to play Overwatch? How do you feel about it? Where are you on it?
Right now, I'm sitting at, in order to support the way that this should be, I have no drive to play it. Like, and I think it kind of goes hand in hand. Like, if you sit here and play, now, don't get me wrong, obviously you want to be able to play it because you want to support those people that have created this awesome product and put behind it. But then at the same time, the respect that, you know what, they decided to take the walk out and everybody come out. And, you know, we're going to take this moment of not focusing on doing any work in here, but we need to bring attention to what truly is going on.
Right.
And I think in the same time, reflecting as an actual gamer, I think it's kind of the same thing as well too, to show that support. You know, I'm sure there's still certain people in certain positions that are looking at those numbers of like, oh wow, we didn't like, there's like not nobody playing right now. And is this contributing because of the fact that everyone's trying to support the people that are walking out? Or is this decided that people are just not playing? So I feel like in respect for those that walked out to bring the attention to it, I think the gamer side should follow alongside the exact same way. If you're in there playing the game and then you're just throwing money, you're buying loot boxes, right? And let's just say Joe Schmo is in there right now and just dropped $100 on loot boxes. That's not necessarily going to change anything. Granted, from our perspective, we play it. If we don't play it, that's an effect. But at the same time, you don't want to not get into it because you want those people that have created it to suffer, in the sense of saying.
Right. If you decide not to buy or not to play, then the developers that are on the ground floor working so hard to bring it to you don't get paid. Right. And everything that they went through, like if you were putting up with that kind of thing at your job, trying to get to, I mean, games, let's just keep it a buck. Like games don't even end now. It's not like you get to where the game is gold and then you ship it and it's over. Like, nah, now you got to keep working on DLC and fixing bugs and dealing with patches and stuff like that. Like it really is more never ending. So it's kind of like the as a consumer, I think the difficult piece of it is if you vote with your wallet and you say, all right, well, I'm not going to buy the game. Sure, that might in turn have an effect on, let's say, Activision
as a whole,
Blizzard as a whole. But then, you know, Sunil in accounting doesn't get.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
you know what I mean? They lose their job because the game they worked on didn't sell. You know what I mean? The bonus they're supposed to get for hitting a certain sales number doesn't happen because we didn't buy it and therefore we didn't support them, right? And so then you have to wonder, how does the corporate overlord look at that? Do they view that as something that's their fault because they did what they did, because of the lawsuit, because of whatever? You know, like, man, there's like stuff, there are allegations, things about like retaliation. So like somebody does something to somebody snitches, they go to HR, they retaliate against them, they give them work, or they fire them.
Somebody committed suicide due to it.
Correct.
Yeah.
The young lady went on a business trip with her male boss and like committed suicide like on the trip. It's, you know, it's pretty serious stuff.
Very serious.
I mean? Now look, I ain't played a Call of Duty game in, man, I don't know. It's probably been a solid 7 or 8 years since I've touched a Call of Duty. I don't care anymore. I feel like it's just old and it's the same. I certainly don't care about the multiplayer, and because the focus for me personally seemed to be so heavy on the multiplayer, I just haven't cared about what they're doing with the single player. And I don't feel like the single player is worth the full price, because the price of entry really is more about the multiplayer to me. And I've been saying for years, like, hey, if they split it up,
separate the experiences.
Say, here's $30, pay us $30 for the, you know, for the story, and pay us $30 for the online, you know, or whatever. Cool, I'll pay you $30 for the story and move on. You know what I mean, or whatever. And if you get me with that, and there's enough in zombies or whatever it is for me to jump in and keep playing, then maybe I will. Currently, I was very close, because they were running a sale on Xbox like last week, and I was very close to buying like one of the last Call of Duties and just being like, you know what, it's cheap right now. It's like $25 or something like that. Like, I'll buy it and I'll just run through the story campaign or whatever to see what it is. I think it was Cold War was on sale, and I was like, you know what, I heard some good things about it. Click was playing it. He was enjoying it, you know, whatever. I watched him stream it a little bit. Like, it looks cool. Like, maybe I just feel like kind of doing something like that. Maybe I'll just jump in and I'll
Do something a little
You know what I
different.
mean? And then this happened. I was like, I'm not even giving you my sale money. You know what I mean? I don't play Overwatch anymore. I stopped playing that a long time ago. Again, I just lost interest. Like online multiplayer stuff just isn't really for me anymore. So I'm cool. I'm past it. So, you know, and I don't really play a lot of stuff that Activision Blizzard makes anymore. They don't make stuff for me. So it's pretty easy for me. You know what I mean? But jokes, I know you tend to do a little Call of Duty. You know what I mean? You know, we have good friends that like they almost exclusively play. Like BP plays Call of Duty like every day.
The facts.
But there are a lot of people who all day, every day, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, if he decides to keep playing Call of Duty and I want to continue to support him,
right?
Do I support him if that's what he's playing? You know what I mean? Like where I mean, Sin, talk to me.
I'm kind of in agreement a little bit with jokes there about and you as far as people worked hard on these games. You know, what I'm saying the women, you know, and the men worked hard to get these games out here to keep them updated. So, yes, I still would like to play them and support them because of that. But I feel like right now I have to pull away from them. I don't see myself in the long run giving up on Overwatch specifically as we're talking that, but also like StarCraft if they ever came out, Warcraft, Diablo. Like these are joints on PC that I grew up on, that I play heavily, that I have a love for. Not necessarily like WoW, but like the older strategy Warcraft. Like that was StarCraft. That was my thing. Diablo, I absolutely love. So the nostalgia will keep me coming back to those titles if they release them. But for now, I'm going to have to leave stuff where it be and just see how things go and see how things turn out. And as far as future projects, like for now, those can just stay to the side right now till we see how all this plays out and see what you all plan on doing, not just in Blizzard, but industry-wide around to see how we're going to correct this and keep this from happening in the future. Because the women audience has grown so much within the past few years, not just players, but writers, developers, programmers, the whole 9 yards. Like they're a part of this culture now. So we have to do something.
I honestly think they always were. I just feel like
it's now more so in the forefront.
Them out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like push. Yeah, I mean, again, that's part of what the suit is about like the idea of like frat boy culture. You know what I mean? The way that just you know, somebody acts when a girl says she plays games. You're like, for real? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, no, you know what I mean? Like, she's just a girl who plays games. Like, it's like gamers exist. Like, you wouldn't say that about if a girl was like, I really like Monopoly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I play Monopoly all the time. Or I play, you know what I mean? Like, you don't get, but again, video games for a long time, especially now that it's growing up. Like, so some of these things are growing pains that happen within almost in any industry, right? Music goes through it. Music is one of the worst. You know what I mean? Like they're one of the worst. But any entertainment industry, if you look at Hollywood, you know what I mean? Like how long it took for a female lead to get paid the way the male leads do in the MCU, right? If you look at like those kinds of things have existed for a very long time because for a very long time. It's right. It's been a boys club. And video games was allowed to get away with it because it's so less in the spotlight. Because for so long, video games was just viewed as a thing that's for kids, that people making toys, and it's just young teenage boys in the basement who aren't cool enough to go and do whatever, and they messy and they nasty and they, you know what I mean, or whatever.
And now we're at the point where GameStop can affect the market. You know what I mean? With doing crazy stuff. Yeah, it's come a long way.
Sure. It's so it's in the news for things other than the kinds of things that you might hear. Many times the things that are in the news about it are usually negative. You know what I mean? It's look at this violent game that my kids are playing. We need to ban these video games. Yeah. Look at how much money my son spent on such and such. I ain't even know. You know what I mean, or whatever. They spent $1,500 on Robux. I don't even know what Robux are. Right, just Like that kind of stuff used to happen all the time, right? And now I just think that people, the age range for game players is much wider. The gender barriers they're not down. They're not broken. They are breaking. You know what I mean? You have a lot more women who work in the industry, not just like you were saying on the development side, but in the communication side, in the media side, on the, you know what I mean? And they're like booth babes isn't a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Like that was a major part of E3.
E3, yeah.
For years was like, here's all the pictures of the booth babes. Like, even if you think about it, like for a long time, like IGN as a company that does entertainment and they used to have like, there was a Dreamcast section and the N64 section and an Xbox section and a PlayStation. And then they had IGN babes. Just like just a babes. Yep. Like this don't really have nothing to do with entertainment, dog. Like this is, you know what I mean? But you also still had magazines like Maxim and you know what I mean, or whatever. And just a lot of that kind of stuff is beginning to fall by the wayside. It really is, as we truly start to look at, point fingers at, and work to correct some of that kind of behavior. You know what I mean? And really actually work to see equality, right? And to respect the person's abilities, regardless of whether or not they are male, female, or they choose not to be called by one gender or the other. They choose to be gender neutral. If they choose, all of that kind of stuff is becoming normal, which is what we're working on, right? We're working on normalizing the things that aren't normal to other people because somebody makes a decision about what should go in a magazine, right? And who your target demographic is for this particular game. I'll be honest, man. Like sometimes I go back, like I was just playing. What's the game I was talking to you about yesterday, Sin? Bulletstorm.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. That game's horrendous. I'm having fun, but that joint is so male, testosterone dominant.
When I played it back in the day, I had a blast playing it because I knew what I was getting into.
Sure.
But I know what you're talking about. I've gone back and watched I'm rewatching Dexter right now, right? I'm rewatching Dexter, and I'm sitting like, yeah, and I'm like, hey, dog, they wouldn't let half this stuff fly on TV nowadays.
Nope.
And that's it's almost embarrassing. Like I'm almost embarrassed to be playing that game or to have had fun playing that game. Like, but again, Bulletstorm got one shot at it, right, and never really got a chance to fix itself, right, by having a sequel or whatever. And you look at it, I'm looking at the joint, I'm like, hey, dog, this joint is a straight rip of Gears of War. And I know it was like epic, and it was, but these big beefy dudes, same voice actors,
same actors,
you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Like it's so just, we're guys, we shoot guys. What the hell? Like it's just so like. And then I thought about it and I was like, yeah, but dog, like there are so many women in the military who actually deal with
that on it.
You know what I'm saying? Have colonels and whatever that talk like this, that act like this, that just it's a real thing. And it's just, I think it's embarrassing. It actually is embarrassing, but that game was built for a very specific audience.
Yeah.
Right. And it's almost embarrassing to say that you were a target. You were you were in that audience that they were targeting. Right. All the stuff they were doing looked cool. Explosions and whips and kicking people and blowing up in blood and whatever. Cool. There are plenty of women who love all of that, who love horror movies, who love gore, who love, you know what I mean? Who love to watch fights. Like, look at the UFC. Look at the women's division in the UFC, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
no joke over there.
Some of them put down the guys. Some of them can put down some of the guys. Like
that's not even all of them could probably put down all of us. Like I'm not even.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'm not even gonna attempt it.
Yeah, let's not.
Like one of them trying to split with me. Hey, you got it, Queen.
You don't have to test the theory.
You got
theory does not need to be tested. You got it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just And look, man, I really hope. I feel like Activision Blizzard isn't gonna have any choice. They're gonna lose this suit. I'm pretty sure. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be a payout. There's going to be a lot that happens. I see them trying to do a lot of things to protect themselves. That's a company with a lot of money, man. Mm-hmm. And they have the backing of Tencent. You know what I mean? They have this, a Chinese company behind them, which is why there was so many issues when that Chinese player won Overwatch League and said something about, the protests or whatever in China. They took his money and suspended him.
Took everything.
Turned into a thing. And it's like, why would you do that? And it's like, well, we do it because we actually, like 10% of us is owned by a Chinese company. Like, that's not okay. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, you know what I mean? And so now it is getting political. And there are other things that are happening, again, because video games is growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There are, like, Saudi Arabia is buying up video game companies. Right? China is buying up video game companies. They want that entertainment has gotten to the point where it's such a big deal that now the eyes are really gonna be on it in a way that they weren't, you know what I mean, before. So, little jokes, cue the sound effects. That's what my man said.
Yeah, when I saw that the city sued him, I was like, oh, yeah, y'all in trouble.
Oh yeah, once the city,
I was like, oh, y'all in trouble. This ain't like somebody coming out with allegations and all right, let's see if this ain't true. This. Yeah, the city did it.
They have evidence. Like, they have things.
Yeah,
like
they've compiled transcripts. They got it all. Yeah.
I said, well, that's a wrap. Yeah, you know what I mean. And it's gonna have a major effect on them for sure. Mm-hmm. I'm very interested to see how this continues to play out. We'll keep our eye on it. Doesn't necessarily mean we'll talk about it again, but we'll see. It depends on what happens. Realistically. Hey, dog, let's talk about the possibility of FIFA going free to play. Now, I know last week y'all talked about PES not being PES anymore.
Now
being eSoccer. Hey, Slim, that's the worst name. That is the worst name.
That's the name you give to an off-brand knockoff of something that you can't put the real name on. You just have to create a stupid placeholder. That's what I thought it was.
That's a name Konami gives to something because they just don't care.
I had the invite to test it. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, they're about to do something new out here. And this is just code name, whatever it is.
No, sir. That is the name. We tested it with focus groups. It works. We don't care what you say.
eFootball. It's out of the game.
So off of the strength of that, because really the only competitor that they have is FIFA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And FIFA puts their foot in PES regularly. Now, PES does have things FIFA doesn't have, or at least it did for a long time. Mm-hmm. The idea of FIFA going free to play is super interesting to me because if FIFA goes free to play, then what happens to Madden?
It goes free to play.
Madden doesn't have a competitor.
It's only Madden.
True.
They own that, so there's no reason for them to do that.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason for them to do that with Madden, but that's really their next biggest joint. And realistically, so I was reading some of it, and what I was reading was them talking about how this seemed to be a response to eFootball. And it was too late for them to do it for this year. Mm-hmm. But that probably for FIFA 2023. Again, it's still a rumor, but
right.
Probably for 2023, it would be free to play. Does that sound like I think EA would go to free to play route?
I think they would look at what eFootball is doing. Like probably start working on getting that set up. But let's see what they're doing to see if it's actually worth it for us to decide to pull that trigger or not. But I think eFootball is going to do well with the free to play thing. So I can see FIFA following suit in a couple of years or so.
Where you at, Joe? Yeah. Joe, you play FIFA?
I have it. I jump into it every now and then, but it's not something that I just play constantly. But I definitely see them doing it. Two pieces. One, Ultimate Team. A lot of people would jump in specifically to get an Ultimate Team, and that's a mode that you are going to spend money in. You are still going to get in here. You're going to buy these card packs. You're going to buy all these trying to get your 99 perfect teams. So I definitely see that as still being a breadwinner for them in that zone. And then I look at the other side of I'm going to use Xbox because I'm going to use Game Pass. Um, Obviously they already have EA Play included within Game Pass, so it's kind of like the game is already, well, let's say depending on the year of it, it's already being given out for free as long as you're actually subscribed inside of Game Pass. Now, let's say, of course, PlayStation comes along with whatever their Game Pass equivalent or whatever it is they want to call it. If they do the same thing, you can now put it in both places, free access per se, and then you're just working off of Ultimate Team and these other mini transactions that you can go in and spend money on for it. And then of course it's
Hey
EA.
Heather.
EA will find a second place to pull money from. Maybe it's they don't charge you for the game, but you know what? When they do like Olympic DLC and all those type of things, you're just paying more or less for
Battle
a
passes,
DLC battle passes than
stuff
the
like that.
actual game itself. And
Right.
that's where they can recruit the money, especially like with I use Halo Infinite, how they're using their new pass mode that you kind of, if you buy the one and you want to move it to a different one and jump in there. I feel like there's other means and other ways they can do that without necessarily making you pay for every single instance of this game that you want outside of the main part of it. So I think there's a potential they could do it and still be highly successful in a free to play model.
Yeah, I mean, look, Ultimate Team, FIFA as a whole has some of the most egregious microtransactions in existence. Period. And people complain about it.
Mm-hmm.
They be buying them, bro. They
Mhm.
complain, bro, but they buy them. You know what I mean? Like they make so much money in microtransactions. They could easily go free to play.
Mhm.
They could easily go free to play and just, again, the idea of what PES is doing by going to the E format of it being more of a platform, we just update it and continue to update it as it goes on. We were saying that about sports games for probably a decade. You know what I mean? And eventually you might need to do something like as new consoles come out and you really need to
You do those
upgrade
upgrades.
or whatever.
You do
Like
those
you might have to do
upgrades.
something, but realistically, like you don't need to keep putting out a game every year. But the thing is, they make so much money doing it every year, and it's such a big deal. Like you can't. I mean, FIFA doesn't have it here. I don't know what it's like outside of this country, but we know that soccer is the biggest sport on the planet, right?
When I worked at GameStop, you can keep FIFA of any year, whatever, on the shelf, new or used. We can keep them things.
Sure, but Madden, you still got people that like take off every year. Oh, it's Madden Day, dog. I ain't going to work. It's a yearly ritual. Like that joint might as well be an actual holiday.
Should.
You know what I mean?
That time is come and gone. Like, because I mean, I would say last few years they haven't really done any major changes. So I would love if Madden went to that type of model. Now, granted, it's in EA Play now, so I'll wait a little bit. I may download it, play it for all of a couple hours, or like for friends. Like that's typically the only time. Hey, you want to play Madden? I'm like, I'm garbage, but sure, let's play in trash talk. It's fun. But other than that,
you're not playing Madden.
No,
yeah, I mean, I haven't really played Madden I haven't gotten into it for a long time. I used to buy it every year just because, people would come over and we play. But like, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'll download them because they're in EA Play and I'll just check it out. But I don't, you know what I mean? Like, again, it just feels like more the same thing every year. So it's kind of like, all right, well.
That's why I mostly
play
Ultimate Team.
You know what I mean? What's up, Alfonso?
What up, Alfonso?
And that could be just the collector in me, because like that's trading cards like that. Like that's my bag. Like that's what I do. So like that side of the game is me.
What Ultimate Team stuff?
Ultimate Team, because it's like I like to be one.
Bro.
You're collecting, but at the same time, I'm trying to build like my super unstoppable team, my ultimate deck. Like it's what you're trying to do, but like I can't compete with some of these fools that's out here just dropping thousands of dollars in Ultimate Team.
And they
There's
do
just
it.
no way. I can't do that.
Yeah, they do it. I mean, yeah. I mean, I could certainly see FIFA actually going free to play. I mean, look, if eFootball, I hate saying that, dog.
I know.
That one is a bust.
eFootball.
Yeah. See, Marcus said that's him in UFC. I don't know what you're talking about as far as collecting cards in UFC, but okay. But I feel you. Like I'm if they went free to play, I'm still not gonna play it. But if there is here's the thing. There is absolutely a barrier of entry at $60 or $70. That if you remove that barrier of entry, there's a lot more people who might spend 30, 35 buying,
Couple
you know what I'm saying,
times.
over
The pass
time,
or whatever,
time and time again.
The new
Like
update.
if you remove that initial barrier, the potential for you to make a lot more money is super high. Super high. And I really feel like, now I don't know how. I think the other thing that EA might look at is Warzone.
Mm-hmm.
Like Warzone just is working for Activision Blizzard. But you would think if that was a thing that they see and they recognize that that's working, then why isn't Battlefield that way?
Yeah.
They still charging for Battlefield, right? And we've had that conversation so many times. Look at all the free-to-play shooters. First person, third person, you know what I'm saying? Wacky, space, old school World War II joints.
There's something out there for everybody.
There's some version of it for everyone, right? And these dudes really was just like, nah, slick. 70 Bs, bruh.
Oh, and no campaign, by the way, too.
No campaign. Come play with us. For real? And y'all gonna make FIFA free? When they know people gonna buy that joint for $70. You make FIFA $70, dog. Them joints selling out.
Eating that joint up. And then you still got the special editions on top of it.
And they're gonna get the $110, $120 special edition with the gold ultimate cards. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it every year. They're gonna put a cover athlete on it. They're gonna have somebody, like, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it every year. There's no getting away from it. They're gonna do it. But there's a chance they could make way more money if they just go free. If they manage to maintain the same level, we'll be on the ascent as soon as we get done here. If they manage to maintain the same quality of the game, like the build, the look, the just whatever, and put it out, it's a good chance, y'all. I don't know, man. I don't actually care, but I like the business aspect of it.
That side of things.
I mean, y'all saw that Xbox luggage?
Yep.
Yeah, I saw it.
Hey, son, I know you want some. Look at this joint.
See,
why they make 1S luggage?
Here's the thing, like, I like it, but it's so obvious. Like, that thing would get somebody would try to steal that thing so fast while you try to travel. That's the only thing I don't like about it. It's so obvious.
First thing, that joint is not going, especially on a plane. That joint ain't going underneath the plane. That joint's coming up as a carry-on with me, because that joint never.
I'm talking there too. It doesn't matter there too. Somebody gonna try to get it up off you. So they would have rolling Xbox.
They just finna get shot on the plane. That's what you talking about? You talking about them?
Yes.
That's what you talking about? Okay.
Yes, all of them.
All of them.
All them.
The Xbox and entertainment system are right past us. Like,
no, not to mention if that joint's written across it. Like, I feel like somewhere on there that joint says like
Xbox.
Maybe it's different in Australia. Like, that's the only place it's available is in like Australia. So maybe it's different. You know what I mean? Maybe they just don't have those things to worry about. You know what I mean? Like we do.
They got more wildlife to worry about.
Y'all see them Xbox donuts?
I did, and I did not.
I ain't peeped the Krispy Kremes, though.
Yeah, but we gotta leave the damn country to get them.
Hey, dog.
Yeah.
Listen.
What kind of donuts are those?
Hey, listen. Let me tell you something, dog. I don't know. I'm sure they got cream in them, which is automatically a no, sir.
Fail. It's gone.
That's a no, sir. You got to buy a dozen, and you get 2 Xbox donuts. And I'm pretty sure they letting you getting Game Pass with your donuts too. I'm
hey, give a free 30-day subscription with a donut. Homer Simpson gonna be playing on Xbox.
Look how excited Jokes is about it.
Hey,
look at him. You want an Xbox? That's it. Do it again. Game Pass.
Let me tell you how I can't. Anytime I say Game Pass around Tatiana, if I don't do this with it, it's wrong.
Yeah, powder jelly cream filled. No, dog.
It's out the window.
Hey, dog, don't put cream in your bread, dog. Anyway, y'all see PlayStation 5 broke 10 million units? So,
yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't got one. I don't care.
Dog, I'm trying.
But I did see it. Yeah.
I'm trying left and right. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm trying to get a figure one place tell you like, hey, yo, Sin, I need you here at this time. Like, it is not working.
Hey, look, I be trying. I be letting the alerts be coming in. Let me check. Nothing. All right, it's time to stop. Go back to where
anytime I get that, I send my man. I'm like, yo, this don't going up, and like I said, just get on there, try it.
I'm over it, dog. When them Jones get regular, and when it gets regular, there might be stuff I want to play anyway.
Facts there.
Right now, it's not. There's nothing that I feel like I have to have one for in order to play. So, you know, when God of War drop,
about to be talking.
There. You know what I mean? All right, so check this out. Before we get out of here, we got a few minutes left. We are gonna keep this short because I'm finna play the Ascent. I don't know what y'all finna do, but I'm finna play the Ascent.
Let's go.
I don't, you know what I mean? Look at Joke's face. He like the Ascent. What's that?
I don't know what's that.
No. That joint's preloaded. That joint's ready to go. But I gotta finish Transformers.
Hey, B, get your man. Hey, get your man. Thank you.
Too bad I could turn myself back on.
Hey, listen, and you say that every time. I don't care, dog.
The point was made.
Yeah. I just dropped a new Jellystone cartoon. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I'm lost on that.
Jellystone. I know Yellowstone.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was saying to myself. And I was like,
let me look at what Jellystone is.
Some Flintstones? So look. Right now, we are considering kind of taking cutscenes off the map for a little bit. That's right, Yogi Bear.
Mm-hmm. That's what it
and
is.
kind of reworking cutscenes. So we're not sure exactly what cutscenes is going to turn into yet, but the plan is so when we originally started Loading Snacks started out as a video game podcast. It was supposed to just be an audio thing, and then one day, very early on, Kay showed up with a camera and was like, oh yeah, nah. Shot the joint, created an intro, made music. We were like, oh, I guess we're doing
two episodes.
Right.
Next, we was just all video. Like, okay, wasn't expecting all this. Okay, just came in and did
Alfonso, man, you can't come in here asking me about the ScarJo lawsuit. You can't say I noticed the wrong place.
Right.
We're gonna talk about it anyway.
You know you're wrong, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
We're gonna talk about it next week. What I'll say about it is they probably gonna have to pay her. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Yeah. They probably gonna have to pay her. And she probably don't care because she ain't gotta jump in no more of them joints ever again. So I'm sure she got residuals. So right now, when we originally started it, you know, a lot of it was about us. We would get together and play games all the time and just be in Xbox Live or wherever, just having conversations, just kind of talking. And it's kind of where we want to get back to. And so cutscenes, I think, is going to morph a bit more into sort of a combination of, you know, we'll talk about some game news stuff, but really it's more going to be like a video podcast. We'll get together. We'll play games. Sometimes we'll be playing the same game. Sometimes we won't. And we're just going to talk about what's going on. What's going on with us? What's happening in the world? What's going on in our lives? Like, we do enjoy the idea of kind of having conversation with people and stuff like that. But we're kind of looking at making some adjustments and changes to what it is. Weekly is not going to change, with the exception of the fact that we are going to begin to roll video game news into weekly as well. Now, that might mean that weekly ends up being a bit longer. It just depends on what kind of news week it is.
Right.
And we may still need to use cutscenes for, certain special events during E3. GDC is happening right now. Tokyo Game Show is still coming. Paris Games Week is still going to happen.
Video Game Awards.
But like, we haven't quite seen the lift and so forth that we want with what we're doing on Twitch when we do it. And, cutscenes, we definitely have moments where we get in here and we have some great conversations and we have people that come in and watch, but it almost feels kind of redundant. It's just slightly different subject matter. So we kind of want to flip things a little bit and do things a little bit different as we're kind of rolling out some of this other content that we're working on. And also because we know we're going to be spending a lot of time at conventions and stuff again. And a lot of us doing this show the way we do it was born out of what happened last year and us just kind of having to find another way to do it. So, I haven't decided whether or not it'll be the kind of thing where we have a chat, but we'll probably have a chat. We'll probably do it live. But we may just get together and play some games and just record, what we need to talk about and what's going on, and talk about our families and what's happening with us at work and things that are going on in the world and why you have no business being mad at Simone Biles for real. We want to have those conversations. Like, we do love talking about this stuff and having fun, but like, that was a lot of the way that we would have those kinds of conversations about what was going on in the world. We do it
in
over
the
video. And that's kind of where we want to get and what we want to get back to. We still want to be able to have guests and stuff like that on. We're going to be making some adjustments. So there probably won't be a cutscenes next week. It'll probably be a couple of weeks. We probably honestly need to get through August because we have two major conventions.
2 weeks apart.
There's going to be a lot of work, a lot of editing, just going to be a lot going on there. There's just a lot happening for us as a whole. One of my daughters it's her 21st birthday.
Another 21.
My sister's birthday. There's just a lot going on in August as it is. So we may need to put it on pause for a while. You'll have weekly to look for. And we may still need to bounce weekly, a couple, a day here or there, whatever, to get it in there and figure it all out. But we will still talk video game news. We're just going to do it on weekly for sure. Cutscenes, again, is going to morph into something a little bit different. I thought we would share that with you.
And they still have Spoiler Boys when What If starts. So
Spoiler Boys ain't going away.
No.
I think Spoiler Boys has...
No. I know it's obviously not going away.
It's ingrained itself.
Got that to look forward to as well. That'll be here before we know it.
Oh yeah. So we, again, we're making those adjustments, and we'll kind of talk about it, figure out what we want it to be, and we'll definitely let y'all know when to look for it. You know what I mean? We're gonna make a big deal about it when it's time to kind of put it back on the map. Also, man, I've been getting some good feedback about us kind of taking some of this and making it audio. And I think the idea of having an audio podcast again, we used to just have a Loading Snacks audio podcast, and I think that it might be time to really do that again. Some people seem to be looking forward to that. So I think we may end up having to do that. So that's what's going on with Spoiler Boys. Jokes, you have a job to do. What's going on with Spoiler Boys? That's what's going on with cutscenes. Jokes, you got a job to do.
Cool.
Y'all know the rigmarole by now. Hit the link tree. Follow us everywhere. Listen, it would greatly help us if when you're watching us, wherever you are, if you like us. Like, apparently you can do that on Facebook now. I don't know, though. Like, there's a way to do it. It's weird, but you can. But either way, like, just, if you're following us, if you're on Twitch, if you're on YouTube, if you're on, if you go in and you like us, that just helps us. It helps support us. It helps us grow. Make sure you check out our Patreon. If you're not already a Patreon member, again, you can be a member for just $1. And there is some content that is there just for you that doesn't go anywhere else. Movie Club. Make sure you check out the Movie Club if you're interested in movies and the kind of conversations that you think we have about movies. We're doing things a little more in depth when it comes to stuff like that. I don't know if Patreon will give you an option to take
like that. Yeah.
I'll look into it, Alfonso. I'll shoot you a message. And let you know. Shoot me a reminder on Facebook Messenger.
My man wants that beat
and I'll take a look at that. Marcus, Beats and Beatdowns is on hiatus. It will be back. Kay is gonna be working on that. We'll put some content together for him, and we'll get some more beats to go with them Beatdowns. Show and Tell's going well. We got a couple of new things that are in and brewing. I talked to Kay earlier today. He's working on putting some stuff together. So we'll have some new Show and Tell stuff to get out to you guys soon. We're going to keep shooting it, and we're going to keep putting it out. So, also, there's going to be a new tier for Patreon soon. Working on that. But don't expect that to hit until like first of the year. Here's one more thing that I need to do. So... give me a second. I gotta pull it up because
cool.
So let me go to this joint. Let me
make sure you figure out what anime you're throwing up there, Marcus.
Folks, I'm gonna drop this in the private chat. If you could pull this up and then go to the website for me and share that for everybody to see it, I would greatly appreciate it.
Got it there. I will actually share it on screen for a quick second, and then I'll put the link.
I appreciate that. So a friend of ours, a young lady named Lindsay, who is an awesome photographer, recently had to have surgery. She is a school teacher, and she had surgery to have her leg lengthened. Not an easy thing. A little bit rough. And so she is in need of a little bit of assistance. She's really nice. Anything you have, anything you can donate, this is the GoFundMe page. Jokes put it in the restream. Anything you can donate, again, would be super, super helpful. She's really sweet, really nice person. And again, shoot some really, really dope pictures. Some of the pictures you've seen of us, all the stuff that you see that we do with like transcendent events and so forth. Almost all of it. The most recent stuff, she wasn't there because she's, had to deal with this. And for her, she's the kind of person that just doesn't really like to ask for help. But anything that you can give would be greatly appreciated. If you find it in your heart to do so, please do so. She shot me a message earlier today and asked me if I would share her story. I ended up sharing her GoFundMe to my page, and I said, you know what? I'll bring it up on the show when we do the show tonight. And she was very appreciative and very thankful. So anything you can do, please.
Let's everybody go and share this out too. You know what I mean? On your socials.
If you would,
please.
Yeah. If you would, that would be great. So.
And that's what's up, Alfonso. I can't wait to see that joint.
Yeah. Sin, you have a job to do.
Yes, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dorch, and Tyrone Carson. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
Indeed, we do. So we're just over our 1 hour running time. We're going to wrap this up so we can go play the Ascent. Listen, as always, I seriously, truly, greatly appreciate all of you for hanging out with us, for talking in the chat. What we do, we could do without you, but it wouldn't be the same. Like it wouldn't even be close to the same. So we really do truly appreciate all of you. Thank you for hanging out with us. We will see you all at least next week when it's time for weekly. August is already here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We about to go to Otakon.
Yep.
We about to go to Awesome Con. It's popping right now.
I'm about to blow some money.
It's facts. Auditorium got your
Hey, look.
name.
Hey,
Oh,
as
he got
soon as
you
he
on
said
lock.
I'm gonna be at Otakon, I was like, "Taking my PS5 money."
Yep, facts.
Nah, you gonna find a way to still end up with both.
Rap.
Hold on, I can get both, but trying to be,
My man,
Fine,
I'm trying to be an adult.
yeah.
You know what I'm trying to be responsible out here. You know what I mean?
Just me over here. Vicious ain't got no
fact.
job.
On fact. So
Tell Vicious to
yeah,
get a job.
we'll be at Otakon again. Press passes are in. I need to double check on my Awesome Con pass because I saw that K said he got his. So I probably got one. I just didn't check my email today.
I got mine too. So
yeah, I heard you.
Okay.
That's what I said. I probably got mine. I just didn't check my email today. I probably should have. But nonetheless, again, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us. New t-shirts. There will be new t-shirts. There actually might be new t-shirts just because of Otakon. I just didn't tell them about that yet. But I have a plan for possibly some new t-shirts because of Otakon. But yes, we will be working on new t-shirts, and you already know, Doctor Who, that we got to work on some t-shirt stuff for Movie Club. We only got 1 day left in this week, and the month is almost over. So look for us to put a little something up tomorrow for you guys to vote on what movie will be the movie of the month for August for Low Sex Movie Club. We'll hit y'all up for that. I think that's it. Is that it, y'all?
I think that's it.
I think you hit it.
Cool. We are out. Toodles and loose.